So welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to be, it is day 2 of the 12 days before Christmas, quick last minute gifts. And today we are going to be doing this cute little tassel that I put together. It's in this opposing colors here. And then I added this little charm, and it's a cute little thing. As you saw in the intro, you can hang it on a door, a knob, that kind of thing. So it's cute. We're going to make one today for the purpose of this video in the alternate colors. So let's talk about what you need. Okay, so you're going to need some red and green yarn, or any color of the tassel that you'd like to make. Now, again, in this video, I used the worsted number 4 weight yarn. We're going to be using green today, but when you cut them, they will be in strips like this. They measure about about 14 inches long, roughly, because you're going to wrap it around the piece twice, and the piece is about 7 1/4 on one side. So you're going to have these strips like this. You're going to need a pair of scissors. If you want to add the little charm, you just get any little charm you'd want. I picked these up at a local craft store, but they can be any charm you'd like, because you could make these for any holiday, any reason. They could, again, just like the Christmas truck, they could be used as a gift favor to stick on a gift, or just as by themselves. And you'll also need a couple little tools, jewelry tools. These are needle nose pliers and flat nose pliers. That's what I have available, but if you, anything you can use just to open up that charm really quick to stick on your tassel. And then you need a piece of cardboard or something thick that you can wrap your yarn on. I'm using my husband's video game case. It actually happens to measure perfectly the size for that. This is the measurement I was talking about. It measures about a 7 1/4 this way. So when you wrap it completely around, it'd be about 14, a little over 14 inches, 14 1/2 inches. So, all right, so let's get started. All right, so what you're going to do is take your piece of cardboard or whatever you have that you're going to wrap your tassels around, and you're actually going to turn it this way, the long way. And let's see if I can get my camera adjusted out a little bit so I can show you what I'm about to do. There we go. All right, hopefully that'll stay like that. Okay, so I apologize for the light source, but this does have a reflective case. So we're going to wrap our yarn around this. So you're just going to take your yarn, and remember, we're making this in the opposite colors. So we're going to do the green, and you'll use the red to wrap. So for the base part of this, you're going to just put, I like to start with this piece on the bottom. You're just going to wrap it around. And honestly, for this part, I just guessed. I did not measure how many times I wrapped this around. I just did it for however many times I thought looked good. And that's why I have those extra pieces, because I went a little overboard. So you just need enough to where you think is thick enough for you, for your tassel. So we'll just go around a few times here, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I would recommend not to make it too thick, because the way I'm going to show you how to do this, you are going to have to hand wrap the other piece of the yarn around the tassel. I'll show you what I mean on the other one. So this part here that's wrapped, I'm hand doing this. I don't have a tool or a nifty little spinning thing to do that. So it is easier if it's not too thick, so that you don't have, your hands don't get cramped or whatever. So I do recommend that it not be too thick, but thick enough to your liking. So when you're done, I would recommend that you end down at the end here, and you maybe a little you have to cut off, but for me that worked perfectly. All right, so we're just going to snip the yarn, get that out of the way. And now you have it wrapped around your piece here. So now what we're going to do is snip one of the ends. So I am going to snip this end here. And so I'm just going to cut across here like this. And we'll get that case out of the way. All right, so then you have your tassel like this. These pieces here that'll make your tassels. Now, they're going to be uneven. That is okay. You do not have to worry about trimming them up right now. You can do that at the end. So just give it a good shake. Make sure you don't have any loose. All right, so now I'm going to straighten them up real quick and just kind of run your fingers through them, get them all kind of straight, because this will help in the process of wrapping. So now what you're going to do is get your alternating color. Now you could make these all the same color. I just thought they look cute with the alternating color. And you're going to pull out a bunch of that. Again, I did not measure how much of this extra piece it took. I just kind of wrapped it from the skein. But if you want to do that, you most certainly could. However, like I said, I did not do that. And so it was just easier for me to wrap from the skein. So what you're going to do now is to get it to do this, because we're going to fold this hat in half in the middle. I literally just eyeballed this. So I just kind of said, okay, that right there looks to be about where I want my length of that to go. So you're going to just pick an end. And so I want my tassels to be about, well, let's see. I'll use this one as a guide. So we'll line it up there, and I'll just stick my tassels about there. So what you're going to do is pinch it, pick up your tassels and get that piece under there, and then just going to tie it to secure it down like so. Tie it a little tight. Don't tie it so tight that you tear or rip your yarn, but tie it tight enough. Now the great thing about this is you don't have to cut off your tail, because you're going to bury it inside the wrapping. All right, so then the best way that I found to do this is just to flip this over. So now your shorter end is down here. And we're going to make sure that tail stays down that way. Now this gets a little awkward because you have to pull and tighten and straight as you go. But it is worth it. All right, so we're just going to, and like I said, it's going to be a little awkward at first, but you're just going to take this yarn here for the one that's coming from the skein, and you're just going to wrap it. And you're going to pull it taut as you go. And you just line it up right next to the one you just had there, making sure that when you come around, you pull your other part around so it's not in your way and you don't accidentally wrap that. And you're just going to keep doing that. Just keep, oh, and if you pull too tight, that's what will happen. I tried to use my thumb and my finger, but I was trying not to get it in the way so you guys could see, to hold that. You just kind of wrap like so. And then when you get so far for doing this, it'll be easier to kind of go a little faster because you'll get some of this down, but you're literally just going to continue to wrap. Now you could do it this way, where you turn the whole thing. I did that. I've tried many different ways. Whichever is easiest for you to get this wrapped around here, that's literally all you're doing. So however you feel comfortable wrapping this around, that is all you have to do. Making sure that you encase your tail from the one you tied inside here. All right, so continue to wrap, and I'll meet you back here when we get to the other end. I wanted to show you really quick. Sometimes this will happen. It'll spread apart. You can just use your thumbnail and fix it and twist it around, and maybe you can bend that into the middle. But if you just use your thumbnail and push the thread, you can manipulate it. You don't have to unwrap all the way to fix that. And then, like I said, just keep making sure that every time you come around for a pass, and the closer you get to the end, the easier it'll be. Just make sure these stay straight because it'll help tighten that up better. But I'll see you back here in just a minute. All right, so now you have wrapped your yarn like this, and again, you can just take your thumbnail or just kind of pinch things to make them look pretty. And so so what I do to check it is I just turn it like this, and if I think it looks like a good length for the little hook, which I use the other one to measure on here, and it looks just about right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to continue that same wrapping method, but instead we're going to hold both of these together like this, straighten these out, and then you're just going to pinch while you wrap a couple, You only have to do this a few times. You're going to wrap around, as you can see, both of these to secure it. You want them to be both in there to secure it. So you're going to do this a couple times, pulling taut just like you were before. We don't want to go too far down, so that's probably good to hold it. And then what I'm going to do is snip about 9 inches or so of the yarn for a tail. And then what I did to secure this was to pop this through the hole like so. And then with this, pulling this out just a little bit so I have a little bit of a tail, we're going to make a knot. And then just pull it tight. And I did this 3 times just to make sure. So we're going to do this 3 times. One more. All right, and then you can just trim that tail right along. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold it up like this. Let me see again if I can adjust my camera. Okay, we're going to straighten this all out like this. And then just take your finger and kind of run it like this till they look about all the same. And we're just going to trim off all the little tails. Like so. Okay. And because this is going to be the back side, it is okay for your tails to hang. Now, if some of you are, you know, particular about that and you want them not to show, that is perfectly okay. I will go ahead and trim this little tiny tail from the beginning, but that is it. And then, and you can see on this one, the tail was in there in the back too. Again, you could trim that off if you wanted. So right now you can see that they look the same, just opposite colors. And if you look really closely, there are a few little flaws, but like I said, you can just tweak those. I particularly am okay with the fact that a little bit of the green shows through, but if the more you make, the easier it'll get to keep that tighter. But from far away, it looks pretty good. All right, so now we're going to add the charm. So you can use, like I said, any charm you would want. I picked these up again at a local craft store, and I think for this one I'm going to use the the Santa hat. So we're going to take that off, and I'll be right back. All right, so now we are going to, on these charms, there's always a spot. It's usually made like a split ring if you do anything with jewelry. Let me see if I can get this to zoom in so you can see. There's usually a spot on here. If you twist it around, now I'm not sure if you can see this, but there's a spot right here where my nail catches, and that is the spot where it will pull apart so that you can crank this apart to put it on your thing. So you're going to pinch it with one side with the needle nose and then come in with the other ones and just kind of go in a motion from side to side, not pull it apart from left to right, from front to back like that. And then you're just going to find a loop spot that's good in front of your piece. And then just go back and, you know, from front to back again to close it up. And there you go. Now you have this cute little hat on your on your tassel. And this is what they look like together. Now I think they would look super cute hanging next to each other on a set of kitchen doors. Like I said, it could be, if you could put them on a gift as a gift favor. I think the possibilities are, again, endless with this, and they're super cute and don't take hardly any time at all. So if you give this a try, I would love to see what you've made, whether it be this or any other tutorial I had, or even just whatever you're making in generally. I have a Ravelry group that you can post your stuff in. I have a Facebook page, or I mean a Facebook group that you could post your stuff in. So at Home Party. So if you like that information, look in the description box below and there'll be a link to be able to find all of my social media and all the places you can find me to interact with me. As always, you could always send it to my email at sowhathomeparty@gmail.com, which will also be in the description box below. I would love to see what you've created or what you're working on during this year, how you're spending your time. And if you tell me and give me permission, I will go ahead and maybe share some of those in a future video. Because I would, like I said, I would love to show people what other people are working on. And, you know, or even, you know, if you have a business, I would be happy to promote that for you if you send me pictures and let me know a little bit about it. I am all for helping do that. So like I said, if you like this video, please think about liking and subscribing, and maybe pass this idea along to friends and family or someone who needs a quick idea. And as always, so what is in your craft room today? Bye.